All right, guys, welcome back. I am GeronimoJak here today with Lance, Cecil, and Efsixx. We are looking at getting the next game going. We have that information coming through. It is going to be Zero Grid versus No Communication is what we have for you as our first game of the day.
I am excited. I don't know about you, Lance or Jack, but I feel like it's going to be a very good game. Two first place guys coming at it, ready to go back-to-back, hot matches.
Yeah, I'm very happy today to have a chair that has a swivel on it because my tail has been wagging since I woke up, and I'd have fallen out of this thing if it wasn't swiveling behind me.
It's definitely going to be interesting because we've seen No Communication before in our event, but we haven't seen Zero Grid just yet. And Zero Grid has a few members from the old head community, like Mournfall, who is someone who's been worth watching, worth mentioning in the community since the Paragon days, but we haven't seen him here yet at the PCC, and I'm kind of excited to actually witness that myself. Do you guys have any opinions on how that game might go? We're here, we know what's going to happen. We might as well talk about predictions, right?
Yeah, predictions are great. Why don't you kick us off, Six, and then I'll counter whatever you say.
Okay. I'm going to be argumentative because
just because I want to argue with Efsixx today. No worries. I'm going to go with NoCo on this. One, because I find their logo exceptionally well, and that gives them +1 points. But I think NoCo being here before is going to have the advantage against Zero Grid.
Yeah, I mean, NoCo's got the pride of Bismarck, North Dakota in Easy Ed. Very, very strong dual lane holding them up there. But I've been watching a decent amount of Mournfall for a while now. He's a pretty good player. Like Jack said, he's an old head as well. He's been around a long time. I've also seen Rizbro play in a couple of different events and a couple of different things. Rizbro's a very strong solo laner as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these go. And this game is important. So the winner of this game qualifies for PCC 4's main event. The loser of this does not. Or well, actually, they have the potential to. They're going to have to win one more game. But they we'll get into why they might qualify later in the day today. But this is a big one. You win and you're in. If you lose, you have another game that you have to win or you're out. So big, important one for both of these teams today if they want to make the main event.
And go ahead, Efsixx.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to come down to playing the objectives on this one. They do have history on NoCo to kind of just be a little bit lackluster on these objectives. So if they can tune that in today, I think they'll be able to take this one.
And I'm kind of interested in seeing how the drafts might play out, because as we were saying earlier, this is the very first time we are getting 2 new champions into the PCC, into competitive events. You're going to see FaZe, you're going to see Morgesh for the first time in a competitive environment. So usually the way it works is we don't like the way it standards across most places. People don't like adding in the new champions until they've gone through a patch or two. But the way the PCC works, having one event be a round robin stage and then the other event being the main event, it means that our events last roughly a month long. So we try and keep things consistent. That's why we didn't see Kira win right off the bat, and that's why we didn't see FaZe at all last time around. So now it's FaZe's first time in, but the way things have planned out, it also allows Morgesh to be included because both of those characters managed to fall within that exact right time frame to allow us to actually allow the champions to have some time spent, people the ability to learn them, and then a few balance and hot fixes to go through so the characters aren't like innately broken like they usually are whenever we get a new release.
Yeah, I'm really excited for FaZe. They tuned her a lot. She got 2 patches to be tuned up around, and she's looking really solid for a top support. So I'm really excited to see what these guys could do with it at a higher level. And then Morgesh, seeing if somebody could actually kind of bring her into this competitive side of the scene things and use her into a very good way.
And we are now going into the draft for you guys. It's finally underway. Sorry for all the delays, but here we are looking at Zero Grid versus No Communication. Once again, the first bans should be coming through very, very shortly. Do you guys have any ideas how that might play out? Who do you think your bans might be? Oh, there you go.
Yep, there it is. I was going to say the Severog coming out from Zero Grid. The man is still a menace, even though he's been worked on every single patch.
Yeah, and then the Decker band's going to come out on the other side. Still probably the best support. She did take a small nerf this last patch that we saw, but she still just does literally everything you could want a champion to do besides healing from a support role. And she can even get a little bit of healing off if she goes the Tranquility route.
Yeah, and then you can see Zero Grid just picking up the Rampage, a big beefy boy. He's just, they try to nerf him, they try to keep him down, but He's a big frog. He's been working out too much just to keep it down. So excited to see Zero Grid picking him up here. It's going to really put a hot seat for them. See what Noko does here.
Rampage is just one of those champions who's just perpetually relevant no matter what, right? Like he just offers so much, and the ability to dive on the enemy carry, becoming a giant screen-sized wall of meat that takes the carry out of the fight entirely, requires so much just attention to be brought to him. So he's going to be relevant no matter what. And now we're seeing Crux come out from Noko.
Right, and that's somebody I would expect to see a lot more of this tournament than we had seen in the past. Grux saw some really good changes, some really good like sustainability builds coming out of him nowadays, where you might see him with that CC that he does provide as well. On top of that, really become a priority pick like he was at the very infancy of this game in like December, January, February, where we were seeing Grux run wild on everybody. They're also going to pick that Richter up to start clearing more of a front line for them, get themselves some beef here as Rampage is taken off the table. Most of the long range CC is gone with with Decker being banned and Rampage being picked up. Richter's your best, your next like fall down champion there if you're looking for like a long range engaged CC there. So definitely a good first rotation out of them. Not necessarily what I was expecting to see. It'll be interesting to see if that Decker or that Richter goes into the jungle or if he's going to be the offlaner support, and kind of same with Crux.
Right. We are seeing the steal come through now, along with the Gideon. So there is a wombo combo there, right, Efsixx, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Steel, he is the man king of CC. That's a very good pickup for a Zero Grid there. And then the Gideon on top of that to kind of combo with the Steel off his big slam off the top ropes that he usually comes in with. And then just to go over with the big black hole, I think they have a very good comp right there just to kind of chain everything together. And then Gideon, it just has to watch out for that Richter because that pull can get him out of there. So we could probably see a, I'm totally blanking, but we're definitely going to see Gideon at least trying to pick up an item to get him out of that CC.
True silver bracelet.
Yes, true silver bracelet.
There it is.
Hey! And Lance's foot goes directly into his mouth as Morigesh is picked up in rotation with the Murdoch as well. I have been saying some negative things about Morigesh's ability to be a team comp champion. I will be ready to be proven wrong once again. Murdoch picked up as well, which I am a little surprised to see Murdoch come through. Some of the nerfs that he took in this patch completely changing the way Stimpak works. Now just giving you a movement speed boost instead of like the slow immunity, the bonus health. It's quite a drastic change. Also, some of the mid game to late game damage from Buckshot being taken away as well kind of puts it to the spot where it's more or less an auto attack reset for yourself now. So interesting to see him be the highest prioritized ADC as well, but that kid is still just very good, and the space police officer is ready to get you.
And chat is going absolutely bonkers right now, just, wondering or questioning how this draft is going. Is this really going to be a good idea? And it might be, because that's the third AoE spell we're coming through. Double knock up now in the Muriel, and Kira followed up. That is just a full wombo combo team alongside a Rampage.
Yeah, that team has big circles coming out of their abilities, and you do not want to be anywhere near them when they're going off. The Muriel pickup here, I'm not too much of a fan of just because she's lacking CC when it's against the Richter. Hopefully the Richter doesn't land his hooks, because if that Muriel gets hooked by the Richter, it's going to be bad for them. But that Kira pickup is very good as well. That dash on her is going to help her get away from that Richter hook if she could time it well.
And just coming to the last last pick right now is going to be Lieutenant Belka, who has really shined over the last few months. A lot of people, when the game first came out, were noticing that, Belka didn't seem like the strongest hero, but then once she got the odd little buff here and there, she fits into offlane, she fits into support, she fits into mid lane, and she can exceed at all of them, right? She's just such a well-rounded pick, and I think she's becoming a favorite across the game.
Right.
For sure.
My favorite thing to do when drafts are completed is find the team that's got like the flex on them and try to figure it out. So let's just take a guess. I think that this might just run directly as it is. That's probably Grux solo, Richter jungle, Morigesh mid, Murdoch ADC, and Belka support. There is the potential for Richter and Grux to be switched there, but I would be surprised by that with just the changes that they've gotten to each other. Richter's incredibly strong with some of the new quests that have come out. Get a lot of sustain. I'm a big fan of Sapphire's mantle on him. I think that he just gets like so much HP late, and he's got such a good like AoE damage around him already that adding Sapphire's Mantle that he gets like a permanent stacking bonus on top of it is just incredibly strong. Jack, before we let you go, before we get into this, you are the first person that needs to make a prediction because you're going to be dropping out soon.
Oh, predictions. You know what? I'm actually going to lean. I love Mournfall. He's a friend of mine, but I think I find No Communications draft to be a little more interesting. Zero Grid's Wombo combo is amazing. However, if you're able to play around it or take it apart and you're not able to do the one thing, like you have one job with that team comp, and if you aren't able to do it, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot. I think that even though No Communications draft might not be the favorite here, for me it seems a little more interesting and it has a little more versatility and capabilities of playing a more than one play style, and that's kind of why I'm going to pick them.
Interesting. What do you think, Efsixx?
I'm gonna go with Noko here, because I don't think Morgesh is actually mid. I think they're gonna throw Morgesh off into the off lane. She's a strong off laner than she is a mid. Throw Belica in the mid. Give that Morgesh her time. She has the poke against the steal. There's not really a lot they can play in the off lane to match the Morgesh, and that's gonna give them the best chance of winning this game. So that's my pick on that. Even though Zero Grid does have a Wombo combo, I feel like Noko has that full-on blow one person up potential. Get those picks in those team fights.
Yeah, Lance, you're the last one.
Oh, it's Zero Grid by a mile. These comps aren't these comps aren't even close to each other, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. These comps are not even close to each other. If we team fight around objectives at all, unless Zero Grid is drastically behind in gold, they should win every team fight with no hesitation.
So I agree with you 100%. Like on paper, right off the bat, it does seem like Zero Grid does have the better team. However, in our tournaments and other games I've seen through Predecessor, is that if you're not able to do that thing, which is a very clear win, it doesn't go in your favor as well as you'd like, and then you're like, wait, the clear winners are the ones who are not winning. We've been in, Lance, you and me have been in games where that's been the case. The three of us have been in all of those games that's been the case.
You and me solo games don't count, Jack. These guys are professional Predecessor players, and we talk about predecessors.
I'm a professional predecessor player.
Oh,
I'm a professional predecessor player.
I'm talking about you, Jack. I'm not gonna be belittling Efsixx at all. I'm talking me and you. Perfect.
All
so
right. No, we're gonna send it to the casters just in a second. So I'm gonna bow out for a little bit and let Lance and Efsixx take it away. But before I go, if you guys have a Prime sub, please use it. All proceeds are gonna go back into the event, and we're gonna do what I can to get prize pools, just better productions, and just do everything we can to give back to the community as much as possible. Like if you can, follow if you can, check out our Twitters, the whole 9 yards. You know how it works. They're right at the bottom of the screen, right there. All right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Lance, Efsixx, it's all yours.
Appreciate you, Jack. I'm gonna have to go against you here, Lance. Noko had. I'm telling you, you gotta look at it. If they're able to get the picks, team fights won't happen. That's all I'm saying.
I definitely agree with that, and they've got a couple of champions that if they can get in on you, they can pick you off. But how are they going to engage those picks? Where are they going to hide that somebody's going to walk all of the way up into them into melee range? Either Richter's going to have to be hitting super long range hooks, or how are they going to get up on top of anybody? They've got no engage, but we'll get into that later. We got to talk about what's starting off at the beginning here. We've got a 5-point. Run us through what their strategy is right now as Zero Grid is stepping up. Onyx is going to get picked or get knocked up. Actually going to miss the rock. Not great for him to have to start on his Q for that jungle clear. We'll have to see how that goes for them. Going to get in, just get a deep ward. Nobody's going to die early, although it does look like Muriel's taking a tiny bit of poke up there. Nav's going to come around with that Richter. That level 1 Richter hook is just about the best ability in the game. Going to go in between them like an Adam Vinatieri field goal, though, and they're going to retreat back into their tier 1 tower, and a little bit of damage is going to come out. Not a single... Oh, it looks like only Muriel flashed through that entire thing as well. So a small advantage for No Communication so far.
Yeah, they're trying to do the 5-man strat there, trying to get a ward on the red, trying to get a view on the jungler as soon as possible, but I do not think it was worth it for them there. They're going to be late to lane, and right now, Noko has the advantage, in my opinion, forcing that Muriel's blink, and now they just have pressure in that duo side whenever they need to.
I completely agree. So yeah, let's get into this. We do see their team comp. It is what I had predicted. It is going to be the Grux in the solo lane, Morigesh in mid. Richter's going to be handling the jungle. The pride of Bismarck, North Dakota, Easy Ed is going to be on the Belisha, and then we got Cold on his patented Murdoch as well.
Yeah, and then we see Septic on the Kira there on the duo side with Mario. Obviously, then we got the Gideon in his proper lane, and then we have the Steel over there just doing his thing against that Grux, which is a pretty good matchup. He just has to be careful of that Grux because he does have the early game, as you can see.
Right, I was going to ask you about that. You are our resident island native with the time that you spent over in the offlane. How is this match? I know at the very beginning of Predecessor, this was basically like the A or the 2 S tier champions. It was Grux and Steel like facing each other. They kind of fell out. It looks like they're coming back into it, but hold on a second because we got a gank coming in over here by Mav. Not going to be it's going to be enough to claim first blood. That is going to be the Muriel fallen down early as that first gank is going to get successful. Going to do a little invading as well as he moves over by the 3, maybe coming back for a regank. The hook should be close to off cooldown at this point. Gonna hit it, lands it. That's gonna be the double kill for Team NoCo, taking that early lead.
And like I said before, with that punish for that ward, they tried to place with the Muriel blink down. We saw the Richter take advantage of that. Got the double kill over there. I feel like Kira should have backed up in that situation, but she kind of greedy to try and get a vision on him, which I don't think was a good idea. But got the double kill over there for the duo. Their head right now. Richter's looking solid. And right now, NoCo's not going to be in the bad side on this thing.
Yeah, Rock's gonna go a little wide of the Morigesh. They're pretty far. It's gonna be hard for them to follow up on it anyways, as we are getting into that level 3, unlocking mostly the full kits for all of the champions here. Ed's still got to get 2-3. You know, that's like the big power spike before anybody hits level 6 and those ultimates come online as well. But Zero Grid is just they got their back up against the wall early in this game. No reason to panic too much as the other lanes are still going, you know, at least slightly in their favor. No deaths over there quite yet, but looking like NoCo's got them right where they wanted. The knockup is going to connect. Stasis Bomb is going to palm down as well, but not quite enough damage to pick them off. Cold's got to retreat a little bit as his health bar is a little bit too low to step up to Akira with 100% health at this point.
Yeah, NoCo right now is kind of just relaxing over there on the duo side. They already have the advantage. All they need to do is just play safe, wait for the gank again from the Richter, and keep in their pressure up. And as you can see again, like we were talking about earlier, the Grux just bullying this Steel. For this Steel to counter this Grux, he's going to need to at least get Tainted Guard and Stonewall to really kind of take him out of the game to start to win on that side of the map. So we'll see.
Definitely, and it looks like they're going to put a little bit of pressure as Mournfall does roam over into the duo lane. Both health bars below 20% for Cold and Easy Ed, but they are back in the safety of that. Onyx is actually looking like he may circle around, going to pick up that 5 camp first as the minion wave crashes, but look for Cold and Easy Ed to be getting potentially dove here. This camp is going to get cleared in just a couple more auto attacks by him. They do have the bases starting to channel, and it looks like they're going to avoid the danger. Got that sixth sense, know that the people are right around the corner there, know that they're in a little bit of potential trouble there, and do the smart thing, just back out there, live to fight another day.
Yes, and the Gideon gank over there was good to get pressure on that duo side since they got down early, but it was definitely wasted. Morigesh got free farm, got the river, or no, she does not have the river, but got pressure in the mid lane, and then Gideon didn't get anything out of it and shared XP with duo, so good for NoCo not dying over there, but they did lose the 5 camp for Richter, so we'll see what he does with that.
Absolutely, we will. And Fusion's going to spend a little bit of time hanging out in mid here. Going to jump down onto Mav. Onyx is here as well. Mav's in a bit of trouble. Does still have his blink. Going to have to use it to get out. Tries to hit him with a 180 pull into the tower, but it's going to go a little bit wide. Onyx is going to take a little bit of damage from Bellica as he falls out of that fight as well. But we are back into the towers, and it looks like everybody is going to get out safely. Rizbro's looking to make appearance over here in this lane, as well as another stasis bomb is going to land from Easy Ed. But once again, it looks like it's just going to be a handshake. They're going to get that flash out of Mav, the jungler, for new communication, and consider that a win so far for Zero Grid.
Yeah, they also forced a blink on Rampage as well. So I find that an even trade. That Richter tried to style on them with the hook, but he unfortunately missed by just a sliver. And that would have been nice to get him. But looks like they're getting this Muriel over here. Up, hook is unfortunate, but they are able to get pressure on her. Cole needs to watch out because he is in the enemy jungle. Forces a blink on the Muriel again. So now they have even more pressure on that dual side of the map. Good job by Mav and Cole there, applying that pressure.
Yeah, and good job for them as well to recognize that the Morigesh wasn't on the side of the jungle where they could have seen him. They had a little bit of vision on her, knew that she had just reset and was coming back into the lane, knew they were able to push up there, able to force that flash out. Very strong for them. Look for this duo lane to continue to get sat on and potentially ganked, as that Muriel does not have flash for 5 more minutes still. Oh, and the hook's going to go a little wide again, but that's what we call a zoning hook. You push him up against the wall so that your Murdoch can't miss the shots. Either you hook him and he's dead, or he's against the wall and Murdoch can't miss, and that's 100% success rate. Great job by Mav in the duo lane out of NoCo. Once again, picking up a kill over in that lane.
Right, got a little skirmish going on here in the mid, just doing a little friendly poke. But like I was talking about earlier in the game, they're getting these picks. They're getting into these one little fights that they're able to get the advantage, and this is what's going to lead them to winning this game. They just have to keep that momentum up and keep pushing it throughout the entire game.
Right, and I think this is a spot where Zero Grid might have to try to push and try something a little bit risky to get themselves back into this game. The level 6 spike is better for Gideon than it is for Morigesh, as that teamfight ult is so big and his roaming potential is so large as well. Onyx is going to come over here to try to help him as well, and just like that, they are going to get a kill onto Fro, onto the Gideon. But what I'm saying is you got to try to get a big black hole out into another lane, try to help your side laners, try to help your jungler out, get an advantage somewhere, because right now they are starting to fall behind in the game, and that's exactly what they needed. Getting onto the board now at 3-1. We do see Cole sitting here at 2-0-1, 100% kill participation. Great job by the Murdoch so far. And it looks like Easy Ed is going to get picked as well. So as I was saying, they're moving Mournfall and Onyx around the map, trying to make an impact around there while they've got that black hole available to them. But Mav's here to help defend. Gonna go a little wide with the hook, and he's gonna portal away.
Yeah, Mav's in a bad position right now. He's kind of stuck, but his teammates are here to help. So good job on realizing that and backing out of that situation. It is a 4v3, so they need to back out, go back, set everything back up, and look for another engage when it's safe. Murdoch tries to go for the snipe there, but unfortunate, he was not able to hit the long arm of the law. So we're going to probably look by everybody to go back about their business. But as you can see from that Rampage, he came in, pick up that Morigesh, and that was an easy pick for him, and that's going to keep them in the game. And they got the Belisha as well.
Right, so starting to get closer to even in that score up. If we could get a quick tab from Choice here to check some items, check some gold. So there is about a 50 CS advantage for team No Communication so far. Already have that first item out on Cold, as he is 2-0. Mav's going exactly what he needs to with the Brimstone into the Horned Plate. That is what we're seeing come out of Risbro as well, to try to shut that Brux down from Creed. He's already got the Horn Plate building into that Tainted Guard, exactly like you like to see there. Getting close to having, I believe that will be Combustion for Mournfall there in the mid lane. Really strong, starting to come together for these guys, especially Cold, who is already on the 1 item spike.
Right, and you can see just as well on the enemy team, they have 2 horn plates to counteract that Kira when she starts to heal up all of her ult and her auto attacks when she's building terminus. So that's going to be good for them as well. And then you can see a smart play from the Rampage, not building into physical right away after getting that Brimstone, to kind of counteract that Richter when he's fighting him in the jungle.
Yeah, very smart itemization, and that's what you can expect from, you know, these people that are here at the cream of the crop for the predecessor scene right now. These are some of the best players in the world that you are seeing right now. You'll continue to see them all day, and it's not gonna be any different. Sorry, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But here comes a black hole out of Mournfall. They are gonna force both flashes out of the duo lane. So great job by Mournfall, getting some pressure, not quite getting the kills that they were looking for, but definitely expect these guys to get re-ganked in a minute here, knowing that they don't have blinks for 5 more minutes. A lot of pressure here into the tier 1 tower as well. The ultimate is available for Kira. I don't expect her to be hitting any dives with it, but it'll be interesting to see if they decide to pull the trigger. Gonna just go back and collect the gold buff. That's worth close to a kill anyways. So very smart by Zero Grid there, not to get too greedy. Realize they're in a decent, safe situation here, and just do what they can to keep pushing this game later and later.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity there for Gideon and for the big black hole. They did get the blink out, which is good for them in the long run, but Richter comes over with a big ult, still has to ult away. Can he get away? And he blinks in to get him. Oh, the stun in the tower, but the Mav still gets him. But Onyx is here as well onto this. I don't think he could do anything here. He should be able to get out. Big rock comes from Onyx. He ults to go at him. He's going to keep running at him with a big ban on himself, but Grux is able to just body block and peel for Mav to get him out of there nice and safe. Good job. Mav had to blink for the kill, but it was worth it in the end. Good job on Noko there.
Man, and they started that fight off by just completely disabling Rizbro's keyboard and mouse for a second, but we'll get into that in a second, as it does look like they are chasing down Creed. They're going to be able to pop him back and trade that kill back, so great job by Zero Grid taking something out of nothing, get the flash out of Mav, get the kill on to Creed as well. Really good job of trying to turn this around, but like I was saying, they basically just turned off Rizbro's ability to play the game at the beginning. They chained that CC with the Grux and the Richter so well, and you just can't get away from that. The Steel was doing the best he could to make a miraculous escape there. Almost got it by using his ult in the shield slam there, but the flash comes through and they're able to pick him up under the tower.
Yeah, Kira got a kill from that rotation. I do not think it's worth a loss to T1 and a lot more pressure on the right side of the map, and gives Noko a little bit more pressure for the duo side to rotate mid here. Felicia looks like she's in trouble, and then the Rampage comes up, misses the hook on Mav. Are they able to secure her? And big rock to knock her down.
They get her, and here's the black hole coming out. Got 3 members in it, but it does get stopped as he does not have true silver bracelet yet. The health bars are falling low for Zero Grid. Long arm of the law is going to come through and pick it up as well, and that is exactly what we were looking for, as 4 members of Zero Grid have fallen now. Noko is in control of this, probably going to be able to pick up at least 1 tier 2 tower or tier 1 tower here, potentially 2 of them, as the side as the duo lane tower looks like it is falling as well. Yeah, Cold is going to push up right into it. It has already fallen down. The minion bug on the mini map is messing with me. I apologize to all of you. So yeah, that tower is already down, and that was the first one of the game. So great little power play out of Noko there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they got that 4-man wipe, and they were able to also go over to Mini Prime and secure that as well from Mav and Creed over there. So good job on them. They got a lot of kills. Belisha did fall, which was unfortunate, but they were able to turn that fight around, forced a blink on Rampage, still got the kill, and they were able to get Mini Prime as well. So good job on Noko, and they're doing exactly what they need to do, getting those picks, getting those fights. So keeping this ahead, and they're going to be good to go.
Yep, and Creed takes the tier 1 tower over in the off lane as well. So that is 2 towers in favor of Noko at this given moment. Gonna be a little bit less safe for Rizbro over there to farm up, hit that late game spot in Steel where he becomes unkillable, and that mini prime buff is really paying off for them. What they decided to take with that 4-man with that 4-man advantage that they had for a small period of time, paying off big time. Gonna come in here, potentially take the 5 camp away from the Rampage as well, who is just getting counter jungled left, right, and center in this game. But they're going to put a little aggression out onto Creed, catch him, say, hey, you can't be this greedy. Rizbro's going to flash forward. Shield Slam is going to come down, and just like that, they're going to pick him up, say, hey, you cannot spend that much time past the river. We are still in this game. Give us some respect, and they're able to take him down.
Yeah, that was very disrespectful of Creed there. He should have just got it, went out as soon as he saw that they're coming at him, but he kind of just stayed a little bit too low. He should have left that 5 camp alone, and he lost Orb Prime there, which is unfortunate for Noko.
Ooh, the big ult is going to come out of the Richter right in front of the tier 1 tower, but this is a 1v2 situation. Kira is in a little bit of trouble, but Mav is just completely ignoring Onyx. He popped the Sapphire's mantle, which is why he is looking so thick right now. The knockup is going to come down onto Fusion as well. Rock's going to come out of Onyx to try to thwart them off for a little bit, but the pressure is still coming down onto Fusion, who has nowhere to run, and Easy Ed is going to pick it up.
That was a menace move from Mav with that Severed Mantle, just running at them with that E, with that 10% boost of movement speed. You are not running away from that man. And they're going to move on over to get Fang number 2. Great play by Noko. Good job keeping that pressure up. And I cannot believe how well they're playing, even though Creed got a little bit greedy at that 5 camp.
Right, and we were talking as we were coming into this game about, you know, how are these people going to be able to walk up to these guys in melee range? How are they going to be able to do these like engages, get these picks? We're clearly seeing that they're able to do that as they've found them in many spots. Now they have an 8% out of combat movement speed buff as well, which is going to make it even easier for characters like Brooks, characters like Richter to just walk up on top of you. So perfect for Noko. That's exactly the buff they were trying to get.
Yeah, that's going to put them to also be able to roam around the map a lot easier, looking for those invades, looking to put pressure on different sides, while the enemy team of Zero Grid is going to be 8%, a little bit slower to get to these rotations.
They are. The Cure ult is going to come out, but Cold is going to be able to hold them off, both Ed and Cold, into the black hole, but it does not matter, as they're going to be able to just turn and immediately kill that Gideon. Cold and Easy Ed are really putting a show on in this game so far. Got to be careful as Onyx is creeping up behind him. He's on that other side of the fog wall holding a rock, but it looks like they may be wise to it as they're starting to shoot his direction. Ed is gonna hit the knockup on the stasis bomb as well, but they got to be careful as Onyx has ulted. Freed's here to support them, and Mav's gonna come with the pull as well. That is not where you want to be if you are a Rampage. Fusion's gonna come in to donate another potential kill to them, as well as Rizbro is gonna show up. It looks like they're going to continue to chase him down into the tier 2 tower with the dive. Long Arm of the Law is going to come out, but it's not going to be enough. Mav is soaking up so much turret damage here. Drone's going to drop out of Easy Ed as Creed is going to follow him through and pick off that. It was Kira who died. Mav is in a little bit of a pinch here, though, as Creed is starting to go ham sandwich onto them. Mournfall is going to fall as well. Is the inhibitor going to be? It is! The inhibitor picks Creed off, though, for diving deep. And it looks like we've got 3 members down on each team.
What a series of events right there, Lance. Big ult coming out of everybody there. Rizbro tried to come in with the save, tried to save with the mirror ult. They tried to get onto the Gideon. The Gideon got back onto them, and there's a big trade going on there. I think Noko still won on that side of things. They're able to get a lot of pressure around the map as well, because Cold is able to free farm. But man, what a fight that went on there in mid lane.
Definitely, and I think that those are the types of chances and types of fights that you have to try to get into if you're Zero Grid right now. They're down 110 CS, down 5 kills, down a couple of towers. They need to try to get gold anywhere they can, get these shutdown bounties, get these tower bounties if they can get them. And just like this, they got Cold caught a little bit out of position. He's gonna get trapped down. He's gonna have to blink away, and he's running for his life with that new stim pack, that 30% movement speed buff, but it looks like they are still going to pursue him. Cold is running for his life, gonna hide over here by the tower. Pro is gonna be in a little bit of trouble as well. The ult is gonna drop down, but is not going to be quite enough. The Cure is gonna fall. The Murdoch is going to fall. The Mural has fallen as well, and a huge team fight is breaking out, but it looks like it is in favor of Zero Grid at this given moment, as Fro is going to fall on the Morigesh as well. Easy Ed doing what he can to keep them off of himself, but the Richter ultimate is going to come out onto Mournfall, going to try to chase him down to almost no health. Easy Ed's going to fall as well, as Rizbro is starting to get low, but Mav is here alone. This is a 1v3 situation for him, but he is a big boy, and the health bars for Zero Grid are starting to fall, but Mavs is going a little bit faster, as they are going to win that 1v3 against him. And once again, Zero Grid in a little bit of a good spot after a big team fight.
Yeah, Zero Grid is finally getting that team fight they want and needed to get themselves back into this game a little bit closer. As you can see there, they kind of just got out of position on Noko. They didn't stay grouped up. They kind of got picked. They should have retreated off that fight, but Zero Grid took advantage of that, and they put the pressure onto them and secluded a lot of these team members out of the fight to get them the advantage to win that.
Right, and I think that once again they have to continue to do things like that. I think that they have to make this game as skirmishy as they can. They are the one with the better team fight, as we've been seeing throughout this, but Creed's gonna come in with his arms wide open, pop that Muriel right out of the sky. Gonna have to move away from Septic, though, as it is hard to push onto Kira, especially when you are a melee. His dash was down as well. Gonna have to back up a little bit here, but if he can get into Septic's face here, he does have a 3-level advantage. Probably be able to pop her pretty quick, but Kira's got some of the better kiting in the game with that slow on her Q, with her own original dash. Like, a lot she can do to keep herself safe from a Grux, but she does need to be careful, as now not only 3 levels, she's down 4 levels to Creed right now. but Mournfall is gonna come in, catch Creed a little bit out of position. Once again, a little overextended out of Creed here, as he's gonna pop, leave Mav alone in another 1v3 situation. Pops a Sapphire Mantle to get big, but Onyx says, I'll pop my ult and get even bigger. Good Liberator is gonna come out to stop the big Rick Energy ult, and they are gonna pick him up just like that. Ooh, the ult is gonna come out of Fro to trade back and get a kill onto Septic on the Kira as well. But once again, that is a 1 for 3 in favor of Noko. Oh, actually in favor of Zero Grid. Gonna get this tier 1 tower as well potentially here, as another wave is starting to crash.
Yeah, Zero Grid definitely got the win in that trade there, 3 for 1, and they got a lot of ultimates out from Noko, so they are good there. They are down 3 Fang Tooth. They need to look for another objective here. They were able to slide the Fang Tooth on Noko's side, which was good for them to at least get something before taking that 3 loss.
Definitely, and you know, that's a permanent buff there. They get 8% to all of their damages, all of their armors. That is one of the better buffs you can get in the game. You know, a lot of people like Orb Prime, like Primordial Fang, those have time limits. This is forever, you know? So that's great for them. That is gonna stop some of this comeback potential for Zero Grid. I do feel like the later this game goes, the more in favor of that better team comp that Zero Grid has. It starts to show through, as you're starting to see in these fights, as we've eclipsed the 20-minute mark. So Noko's got to do what they can to hold this comeback off at this point.
Yeah, Noko has to go back to trying to get those picks, placing a lot of wards, get some visions, and get some big picks in those before these team fights start, so they can actually get to this or Prime to maybe end the game early, because Muriel is going to scale a lot harder than Belisha with her shield and that ult. Steel's going to scale a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more tanky. Grux is going to fall off, and so is Mav on the Richter. So they need to close this game early to really get the secure on the win.
They definitely do, and it looks like that is exactly what they're going to try to be doing right here, as Zero Grid is going to make another engage as they find themselves in another numbers advantage in a 2v3. Oh, but Mav is going to come behind him, even these numbers out. Mournfall is going to come in as well. The hook is going to land on to the Muriel, but that's not the target they are looking for. In onto Septic, as soon as they get Richter ult is going to catch 2 of them. They got to keep their eyes on Septic. She's going to ult to try to stay alive, but it's not going to be enough. The big black hole is going to come through and catch 3, but they are just going to immediately stop him from it. It looked to me like he got popped out of the sky, but I think he flashed away in the middle of it. Gonna get knocked up anyways, and now he will enter spectator mode as 4 members of Zero Grid fall, 0 members of Noko fall, and that is another great power play opportunity for No Communication. Look for them to move over to this Prime, potentially pick that up, push these tier 2 towers down, and really grab this game by the cojones.
Yeah, they're definitely grabbing this game, and they are definitely in possession of everything they want. They got 3 Fang Tooths. They got a big team fight over there. They're looking to do Prime right now and reset and trying to finish the game out. They need to end the game right here, or they still have a fight in Zero Grid.
Right, and you see Creed not giving a toot, standing right in the goo that comes out of Orb Prime there, knows that he is chonky enough to be able to stand a little bit of that, just kind of flexing on us a little bit. Gonna turn PCC purple, and we're gonna have our first Orb Prime power play of the day.
Yeah, when you're a big man holding clubs like that, you can do whatever you want, especially when you're level 15, just running on the map, doing whatever you want. So 9 level on Fusion right now on the Muriel is not looking good. So they're going to need to at least stay back here, kind of turtle, farm up, and kind of see what they can do on this power play that Noko has on them right now.
Yeah, quite an interesting spot to be, as you see Creed over there in the corner of your screen. He's level 16. That Muriel is level 9. That is a 7 quick maths level advantage. That is massive. That's about as big of a level advantage as I've ever seen in an actual competitive game.
Yeah, that gap is bigger than Michael Strahan's tooth, right? So we definitely have to look for them just to kind of run it down at them and just do their thing. And if they can do that, I think they can end right here, but they have to do it very smart. Maybe get a pick, push all 3 lanes. It looks like Muriel has to ult out. They were trying to get a pick on her, but they might still be able to clean her up there. Down she goes, and she's going to go back to that spectator mode. Oh my goodness, what a play from them. They forced the ult, and now they're able to put a lot of pressure on these lanes and try and end the game right here.
Yep, and looking to move up towards these inhibitors, clearing the entire minion wave out so there isn't going to be one to crash into this. gonna have those minions directly onto it as they are pressuring 2 inhibitors at the same time, which is definitely what you want to do, especially while you have this Orb Prime buff and it takes even longer to clear your minions. Not a lot of great wave, or actually a decent amount of a good wave clear coming out of Zero Grid now that Breach is available to Kira. But we're gonna have a fight pop off. The Richter ult is gonna go off, but they're gonna come immediately out of it. But Noko is just pushing forward. Rizbro is gonna start to follow, gonna have to use Tranquility to keep him alive, but they do not care. Creed is gonna flash forward like the maniac he has been this entire game, and it's gonna pay off for them as both Septic and Rizbro are going to fall down, moving in towards Onyx as well, whose health bar is starting to become quite low, but he is a big rocky boy, but not big enough as he is gonna fall as well. That's gonna be the Muriel going down as well, and only Mournfall, not even Mournfall, is gonna come up. That's the RGS ace for Team Noko, and that should be the game.
Oh my goodness, Lance, they did it. They used that prime, they got a big ace. RGS ace, he said it himself, did it big, did a great job right there. Cold went in and he was an absolute menace. There is no warmth in that man's heart. He took everybody out. There's no place like home. Good job on Noko there, baby.
They were up 240 CS at the end of that game. Holy
I told you.
cow. Wow. So, you know, it shows that, you know, it's not always team comp. Sometimes the better players rise to the top and they are able to make these team comps that seem a little less traditional work. Great job out of Noko, especially becoming our first team to qualify from our second places from our, I'm saying that super confusing. They are the first team that got second in our group to qualify for our event. You will see them in 2 weeks on the 17th, and we are very happy to have Noko back in our main event. We are going to run to a quick break, and we will be back with our next game soon. Oh, hey, here we are. Maybe not. Maybe we're not going to go to a break. Six, give me a little bit of what you thought about this game really quick before we take a quick break.
I mean, I told you, Lance. I told you Noko had it. Though I just thought their team comp had it with the whole entire overall pressure. Morgus, she has that damage. She has everything. She was 8-3. She was keeping up with the CS. She was keeping up with the Gideon, and they were just able to get those picks in those fights. It was looking a little bit rough in that mid game right there when Zero Grid kind of got into their momentum and kind of tried to push back. But Noko, they started communicating again, and they kind of did it. Got those big team fights, got those big wipes, got the objectives, and they played around their team comp, and that's what really secured the win there.
Right. It is definitely a team game. And speaking of team games, I can't wait to show you the next game that we have. We are going to take a quick break and we will be back with some more action for you. Make sure you stick around. Maybe check out some of our social medias during our break. Maybe enjoy this super awesome video by TDM. Lots of things to do, but don't go anywhere.